Hey everybody, welcome to another comic book review. In this video, I'll be talking about Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' classic graphic novel, Watchmen. This is widely considered to be one of the greatest graphic novels of all time. It came out at a time when comics were becoming more well respected, and this was one of the ones that brought the mainstream attention to comics, and it's incredibly influential um, when it comes to like books that really shaped the art form and like shaped the graphic novel medium and like kind of propelled comics as a whole into like a more adult audience. And it was one of the books that made people realize, wow, comics have a ton of value when it comes to storytelling. And um, it showed that maybe comics can be more mature, and not just talking from like mature in like containing like violence and swearing and anything, like just mature in terms of like a story. Um, and containing complex themes and really rich, dense characters, and a world that is very fully realized. Um, yeah. So Watchmen tells the story of a bunch of uh, people who are living in the 80s when superheroes and vigilantes have been outlawed. And there's a bunch of people that um, are former superheroes that are in retirement, or superheroes who are working as outlaws and still continuing on their work. A lot of these people don't have powers. One of the few exceptions is Dr. Manhattan. Um, this guy right here, big blue dude. Um, and it basically kind of tracks um, where all these characters are at and what they're doing. And meanwhile, political tensions are mounting between the US and Russia. Um, and, you know, people are trying to figure out how to navigate uh, the different things that the world is throwing at them. And there's also a bunch of former superheroes that are getting either killed or um, like assassination attempts against them are happening. The story basically starts off with the comedian, a former superhero, getting thrown out of a building, and he falls to his death. And this hero named Rorschach is trying to investigate who killed the comedian, and he believes that there's he calls it a mass killer, somebody who like kills former superheroes. This is Rorschach here, but you know, it tracks all these characters as they go deeper and deeper into this conspiracy that maybe somebody's killing off masked adventurers. And it's phenomenal and groundbreaking in so many ways. And yeah, it's a classic for a reason. Um, the one thing that, because I've read this book a number of times, and on this reread, one of the things that I noticed that I really loved is the lettering, because the lettering is like different for each character, and like the speech bubbles are different for different characters. So like Dr. Manhattan, for example, has like these blue speech bubbles, and a lot of the like secondary characters that don't show up often have like just regular speech bubbles like this. But then Rorschach, for example, um, whenever he does say things, he doesn't talk a lot, but whenever he does say things, he has like these like shivery speech bubbles, and his lettering is a lot different. And it's great because there are points in this book, because it deals a lot in flashbacks, and there are points in this book where Rorschach is younger and he hasn't been fully like uh, converted to the ideas that he believes now, and his lettering from like different periods in his life is different, and it's so cool. That's something I picked up on this time reading through. Um, Something that this book is very famous for is the 9-panel grid. Um, so it's got 3 by 3 panels, and the whole structure of the book, for the most part, relies on variations on this 9-panel grid. So, like, some of them have like the 9 panels, some of them have like 3, 3, and 1. Um, and they all kind of follow that same structure, though, of like the 9-panel layout, which I thought is really cool. It's iconic. Like for this story, it really fits, and it's one of the things that the book is kind of known for at this point. I want to bring some attention to Dave Gibbons' art. This was something that took me quite a while to fully appreciate. I remember the first time I read this book, I was still very much new to comics, and I didn't feel like I fully got what Gibbons was going for with his art. Um, I didn't fully appreciate it for what it was, but looking at it now, it's like phenomenal. The things that he does with how detailed his characters' facial expressions are, and what he does with uh, shadows, and his landscapes are incredibly detailed. Kind of like the locations that characters walk around in. There are very few times where a panel will just have like a solid color background. It's all very, very detailed. All of his backgrounds are very detailed. And same goes for his characters as well, but the backgrounds especially are incredibly, incredibly detailed. When it comes to Alan Moore's writing, I mean, I've talked about this guy's work in the past. He is a true master at work. If it weren't for Alan Moore, I feel like the state of modern comics would be nowhere near what it is today. Moore was a true revolutionary, not even just like strictly comic speaking, but like as a storyteller, as a writer. He creates characters that are incredibly complex. Each character is so like unique and specifically detailed. Like they're all very distinct from one another. The way that each character's mind works is truly brilliant to kind of watch unfold. And one thing that I love about Watchmen is these little interludes in between the chapters. They're like excerpts from fictional documents that appear in the world of Watchmen. So like this, for example, is an excerpt from a book that one of the characters wrote. There's like magazine articles from fictional magazines that show up in the world of Watchmen. And like, it's just genius stuff. And really analyzing all that in context with like the rest of the story, it's awesome. It's so, so cool. And I love it. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on Watchmen. It's truly phenomenal. If you haven't read it, please do read it. It's one of the best out there, and people talk about this one more than others for a reason. This is a truly phenomenal work of art. And if you haven't read comics before, this would be a good one to start with as well. As always, thank you for watching, and look forward to more videos in the future. Have a great day.